Welcome to the Ceebs Knowledge Podcast, produced by China Europe International Business School. In this episode, we talk with MBA 2020 candidate Mathieu Tse about everything from growing up in French Guiana and his passion for combat sports to investing in Africa and the advantages of getting a China-based business education. Thank you, Mathieu, for taking the time to join us on the podcast today. I think you've got a really interesting story. Originally, you're from Hong Kong.
Yeah, exactly.
But as a young child, you moved with your family to a very different part of the world. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I born in Hong Kong, and when I was 4 years old, I moved with my parents and my younger brother, to French Guiana. French Guiana is a part of France, but is in South America. So it's close to Brazil, Suriname, the British Guiana, and Venezuela. So north of South America. So yeah, it's an amazing experience. So I spent my life between 4 to 17.
And what was that experience like? What was it like growing up there?
So it's amazing, but also it's a little bit tough. Amazing because it's a crazy, unique experience. I have some trip in the jungle, Amazonian jungle. And also the people there is very diverse. Like I have classmates from Haiti, from Brazil, from Dominica. Yeah, and tough because at this time, me and my family, we came there and we don't speak any French or local language.
How do you think that opportunity to actually live in a different country or live in a different part of the world and a different culture, especially when you were young, how do you think that sort of affected you, or how do you think that sort of influenced your worldview?
So I think it's a great chance for me. French Guiana really built my personality and built my global mindset. Yeah, it's at home I speak Cantonese with my parents. Cantonese is Chinese language from Hong Kong, from south of China. At school I speak local language, Creole, French Creole. And with a professor I will speak French, and also my neighbor speak Portuguese because they're from Brazil. And since very young, I know this world is global. It's not like just French or just Chinese.
Okay. So after you finished schooling when you were about 17 years old in French Guiana, and after that, again, you sort of uprooted and moved to another part of the world. What happened after that?
The reason is French Guiana don't have a university system at my time. Now they have one university. So when you are lucky or when you are working very hard, you have the opportunity to get a scholarship to go to study in France, in Europe. So at this time, I have no idea what kind of study because they don't have university in French Guiana. So they just say, oh, go to study in France, choose what you like. So yeah, so I go to France and I choose Bordeaux because I know a lot of people from Caribbean, from French Guiana went to this place. So yeah, so I just joined University of Bordeaux and study what I like at this time, chemistry.
So even before coming to Ceebs, you had an undergraduate degree and 2 master's degrees.
Yes.
Yeah. Is education something that was always really important for you and your family? Or was it something that just sort of evolved as you went along?
Both. So first, as Asian, I mean for Asian culture, it's very important the education. So maybe my classmate, my Chinese classmate can confirm it. Is yeah, parents push you to study hard, go have a good education, and the reason is I have a bachelor degree in chemistry. I think it's one thing come to another one. It's like so I at this time I was very good in chemistry. I finished #1 of my university. So what happened is because I have a very good ranking, you should go to a very prestigious chemistry school, engineering school in Chimie Paris. So I went to this school. I really like chemistry, but I enjoy more dealing with people, the human interaction. And when you are working as a chemical engineer, your job environment is more like in a lab, in not too much presentation, negotiation. It's I'm very extrovert people, so that's why I decided to go to HEC. And also because I have in mind one day I will start my own business, even in chemical school at this time. So that's why I go to HEC. And after HEC, I decide, okay, I need to do something, a business between China and West Africa.
Something else that I guess plays a big part of your life is your involvement in combat sports.
Yes.
How is this something that you first got involved in or took an interest in?
Because I grew up in French Guiana, and I was one of the few Chinese people living there. So in my neighborhood, I was the only one with my brother. So yeah, I used to get bullied or something, some kind of difficulty, like every kid in the world, living in different place. And I dreamed to do combat sport, like maybe over all kind of kid of our generation, Bruce Lee movie. So, but at this time, my father say he refused to pay me some combat sport stuff, because they say, why I pay you to go fight and I need to pay you for hospital after? So yeah, he never accepted this kind of things. So I told to myself, the day I will go to study abroad by myself, the first thing I do, I will register for any martial art. So I went to Bordeaux University, so I checked the sport club, and I say, oh, they have karate. So I just start. And I'm so passionate about it. So I remember first month of training, I will go in the the car parking station. So I will train by myself at 2 a.m. of the morning.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, so the result coming very fast, because I think the result will come when you're really passionate about it. So yeah, so after 1 month of training in an official dojo, the training gym, I became number 2 of south of France, Aquitaine. And yeah, in 2010 I become number 2 of France in karate. And then yeah, I come in China, I do some boxing, and I also have some professional fight proposal.
Okay. Is combat sports something that still plays an important part of your life now? Is it something that you sort of continue to regularly train for?
I try to keep weekly basis, but now it's more complicated because they have MBA, Ceebs, it's very demanding, a lot of classes, a lot of assignment. I have my own business, and also I'm a coach of sport in Ceebs. I teach my other classmate and professor, and less. And also now I'm more than 30, so also my legs are less flexible than before.
Okay, is it more difficult to train now as you get older?
Exactly. Okay. Also, I start to have belly. Okay. Yeah, but in the mind, I still have this fight spirit, because this kind of martial art spirit is never give up. Train hard, work hard, like you are a beginner. So you need to do everything you can, learn everything you can, like the first day. So yeah, this kind of spirit, never give up spirit, it still belongs to me in every kind of things.
Okay, yeah. That's actually going to lead into my next question. Was is there sort of one lesson that you feel that you've taken from your time training and competing as a fighter that you think has been very important in your life?
We have different values for martial art. Maybe I will not talk about boxing, but for martial art, we need to be humble. So sometimes I become less humble because of success, or maybe I get accepted for Ceebs, it's a very good school, but I need to remind myself from martial art point of view, you need to be humble, because maybe you get older, the newcomer, the new fighter coming, they can punish you. So you need to know this world. You cannot be arrogant. You need to be humble. You can learn a lot from your peers, and that is also things you can apply on your daily life. On my daily life, I learn from my classmates. I learn from other people who have successful business. Yeah.
At what point then did you decide to relocate to Shanghai? I think you just mentioned it a little bit earlier. But at what point did you decide then to move from Europe, I guess it was?
Yeah.
And then come to China?
the thing is, I met a very good friends of me and some African friends. So they are from Niger, from Cameroon, from West Africa part. So they all very smart. They all finished #1 of the university in their major. And at this time, I have a conviction. I say, oh, these people, one day they will go back to their own home country. And I think it's a pity we cannot do business together. So I need also to see myself, my story, as born in Hong Kong, born Chinese,
right.
Going global. So I need to find my own competitive advantage. So my competitive advantage is to come to China,
okay,
and leverage my skills, my create a network with China and this new developing country, such as West Africa. So that's why I came here. Okay. So I came here first in 2012. I already have an idea, a mindset. One day I will do business with developing country.
Okay.
But first I need to learn some jobs. So I want to have some experience in different kind of job. So my first internship was in a sourcing company. So I learned during 6 months how to do sourcing, how to work with Alibaba, how to find product, how to check the quality. Then once you know how to source and buy it, you need to know how to supply. So I went to Decathlon. Decathlon is a very crazy company. They are very, very strong in supply chain. They have 1,000 stores, I think, I guess, more than 1,000 stores in the world. So, and Decathlon is, so it's a very great school of supply chain. I learned a lot, how to make forecasts, how to manage the product from the warehouse to the store. So I learned this skill during 2.5 years. Then after, when this product arrives to a store, you need to how to sell it. So I became a business development of a chemistry company called PICAS. And at this time, yeah, I try to find some new client, going anywhere, any event, any exhibition. And the last skills is how to manage a team. So I joined another chemical company. So I manage all a team for all the Asia and Oceania area. So then I have all these skills. I need to combine all this knowledge, and the MBA is the best solution to finalize.
Right.
Yeah.
When you first came back to Shanghai, to mainland China, I mean, you're originally from Hong Kong, but you've spent so much of your life overseas. Did it feel like you were coming home again, or was it quite foreign to you, or quite different, or in some unexpected way? So
again, both. It depends. So if I look at my life, I spend 1/3 of my life in Asia, 1/3 of my life in South America, and 1/3 of my life in Europe. So of course, I didn't spend so much time in mainland China, and the things is some things is still familiar because I'm born in Hong Kong, so I know the food, I know I speak Cantonese. Now I learn in Mandarin. I know some cultural part, like the family values. Like Chinese people really highlight the Chinese family values, friendship, guangxi, the relationship. So all these are already familiar. But new thing is the language. How to do business in China. I have no idea. I never worked in China before. So all these things is totally new for me. Okay. And China changing so fast. So every day I learn something new from China.
Okay. Have you been based in Shanghai the entire time that you've been in China?
Yeah, many in Shanghai.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything that you think is sort of interesting or unique or special about living and working here?
Shanghai is a hub. Shanghai is very different from other city of China. So that's why I think Ceebs is a very good place to make a very good decision to build all this facility in Shanghai. Because in Shanghai so much people speak English. There are 25,000 French people living in Shanghai. So it's a very cosmopolitan place. So and it's a place of a lot of global entrepreneur like me with a global mindset. Yeah.
Okay. So again, you've already talked a little bit about some of your previous education experience, and then obviously you've just mentioned a number of things that you've been working on in China to get experience in things like supply chain and sales and team management. Given all of this experience, given all of your educational background, all of your professional experience, and why then did you decide you wanted to come to Ceebs and do an MBA?
Okay, so several reasons. First is I work mainly for French company. If you check my background, like a Decathlon or other chemical companies, is French. So I never really experiment like a very local Chinese. So that's my first weakness. Second weakness is I believe to become a very successful entrepreneur. I hope I will be one day. I need to have a good network. The network is the most important things for a career. We learn in MBA it's important to build network from junior to high executive. So, and Ceebs provide all these things. You have an EMBA, the MBA, they have very senior people, they have some CEO from the top 500 Fortune company in China. So yeah, so I'm building all this. And also, I study all my life abroad, so also it's very interesting to learn how to study and and work with Chinese classmate.
Right.
Yeah, it's a unique experience actually.
Okay, so what has your experience in the program been like so far? You started last September, was it? Last fall? What has it been like so far?
So it's amazing experience. I'm very, very happy and thankful to join Ceebs. The first 6 months, the core classes is very tough. So we have a lot of assignment. I think I used to wake up at 7, and then I study a little bit, go to class at 9. Then have class until 6, and then go to some networking or some conference, some event. Go back with teamwork from 10 to 12. Yeah, during 6 months.
Okay.
I learned a lot of things: strategy, marketing, finance stuff, and also I learned a lot. I have also a mentor. I have some peer to advise me how to do business. So I registered my company in Hong Kong during term 2, so October, November. They give me a lot of opportunity and a lot of knowledge.
What about the program so far do you think has surprised you the most, or has impressed you the most?
Strategy classes is very nice. There have some, because doing business, I think you can do it without very high education, but to understand some specific market analysis or how you can enter to a market, what kind of partnership is very crucial. All these things you need to learn from somewhere or from some book. So so it's like in 6 months I got so many information. Maybe if I didn't get an MBA, I need to spend 2, 3, 4 years by myself reading books, asking people. Yeah.
Okay, so sort of just the access to the knowledge and the information.
Yeah, and the quality of the professor also. Okay. Top professor, the class are amazing. My classmate also is very amazing. Sometimes, yeah. I went to canteen, then I discussed with my classmate. I say, why you are here in Ceebs? They say, oh, I have a huge family business. I'm the number one of this kind of business. Some classmates have a big wine business in their own country, like Chile, or some people have their own manufacturing in Korea. Yes, so the background of my classmates are also very impressive. Okay. Yeah, so give me also pressure to work hard.
Yeah. So what's been the most challenging part of the program for you so far?
Personally, for me, is accounting part. Okay. I think I'm not enough detail oriented. So and if we take the accounting classes, we need to learn the equivalent of all bachelor degree, the program of all bachelor degree in just 1 or 2 months. So it's like a nightmare for me. But finally I passed these classes, but it was very hard and tough.
Is there anything that you're looking forward to that's coming up or that you'll be working on soon in the program?
So now I focus more about to learn more about Chinese. So next week I will go to Shenzhen. Okay. So for me it's very good opportunity because I can discover the Silicon Valley of China, all the tech things happen there, the Tencent, the big company. So Shenzhen module. Also I take some economics class focused in China, and then I will go to exchange also in INSEAD. Second half of the year.
So what other aspects of life at Ceebs have you been involved in outside of the classroom, whether that's clubs or other activities?
Okay, so first things, link with my combat sport patients. So I provide a lot of boxing classes. So I think I totally maybe 60 or 70 of classmates, professor, family came to my class. So I'm very proud of this. Because I remember the first month, maybe sometime I only have 2 students, 3 students. So I say, okay, I need to keep motivated, keep doing this. I also do communication by WeChat or something. So I attract more people. So yeah, so I'm very proud about this. So I believe people enjoy my classes and learn some useful tools and also keep fit. Okay. So this takes me a lot of time. And part of that, I joined some competition. So I joined the EUL competition. It's a business case on how to provide job, how to create 10,000 jobs in less than 10 years. Okay. So it's a global competition. So we are finalists. Yeah. So we're still on this competition. We will join Innovate China. So Innovate China is a big event, big global competition happen in Ceebs. So I will bring my own with my teammate from my classmate teammate from Ceebs. We will compete and based on our project.
Maybe is there just one thing, if there's sort of like one piece of advice or anything that you think maybe prospective applicants, so for people that are thinking about applying to Ceebs or thinking about doing an MBA here, is there anything that you think that they should think about before they apply or during the application process?
First, I think if any candidate, any people believe or would like to know more about China, it's the right place. Ceebs is the right place. So, of course, if you really don't want to come to China, you don't want to deal any stuff, manufacturing with China, maybe Ceebs is not the best place. But if you little bit believe or you want to work long term with China, or even you want to set up your own business in China like me, I registered my company in Hong Kong, you should come. That's the first thing. You need to be at least interested by China a little bit. Second thing is it's very demanding program, so you need to be prepared to work very hard, at least for 6-8 months. The classic stuff like GMAT, work on your. If you can study Chinese before to come here, it would be great, but it's not necessary.
So you mentioned that you've set up your own business in Hong Kong recently. So in addition to studying, you're actually also involved in a number of different sort of ventures on your own. So could you tell us a little bit about that and what's involved there? So
Ceebs is great because they give me a good personal branding. Because thanks to Ceebs, I have a great network now. I start to have a good network now. And so I have three, if I need to describe what I do, I have three business. First, I register a trading company in Hong Kong. So globally speaking, I have, right now I have, just last week, I have my first contract. Okay. Yeah, my first client from France, and I help them to come in China market. So that is more trading consulting company. Second thing is I'm also a partner in an investment fund. Okay. Very small fund, but very high potential. It's located in Burkina Faso. in West Africa. So my partner and myself, we invest and we also do consulting. And right now we already incubate three companies in Burkina Faso. Okay. One in technical physical product, one in e-commerce, and the last one is in food. That is the second things. And the last things is a solar startup with my friend, okay, called Winco, and this startup is also incubated in Ceebs, in eLab. So the vision is to provide the best solar device technology from China to West Africa.
Okay. Is sort of renewable energy or green energy, is that something, how did you sort of first get involved in that? Was it something where you just saw an opportunity for business, or was it an interest that you already had?
First, I believe Africa is the next big things coming. Okay. If you are looking in the big number, they have 10% growth per year. And the half of the population, worldwide population, will be African in 2050. So they have a lot of strong neighbor and education coming. So they have a great opportunity. So if I take a look on this big data, I need to ask myself what kind of things I can be helpful, useful from my own background, my own story, and also from a China perspective. What kind of things I can bring from China? I only focus in French speaking country in West Africa because of my education in France, and also I think it's like what we learn at school is called the Blue Ocean strategy. So I try to go some marketplace that have no or few competitors. So then, after to target the place, I need to think about what other people needs right now, and I believe there are some needs is crucial and can improve the life of a lot of people. So, if you take a look on Africa right now, there are 600 million people without electricity, without access to electricity, and if we look at on China's side, 95% of the manufacture of solar worldwide are from China. Okay. So yeah, so
it sort of made sense, yes, then on both sides.
Exactly. So they have the main client and they have a main manufacturer. Okay. And they need someone to make the connection. So I try to be this guy to do this. Okay. And I believe this kind of project is also very meaningful. I mean, it's very sustainable, meaningful, because right now a lot of village in Africa they still use gasoline, oils, and it's very toxic, very expensive. And yeah, when you have light, you have access to, you can work during the night, you can start your own business, you can have access to worldwide education, you can go to all the MOOC, yeah. So I believe they have huge impact. Yes, so everything's bring me in this.
Okay. Where do you hope to see yourself in the next couple of years, maybe after you graduate from Ceebs, and how do you think Ceebs is helping you prepare for that next step now?
Yeah, so I really hope I can keep working on this business between. It's like it's between all these French-speaking country and China. I really hope I can become a main player of this kind of business in solar or in whatever, like investment in next big African company. And how Ceebs will help me for this? I believe Ceebs is really amazing because, for example, if I just mentioned before, they have a lot of my classmates, they have their own family business. And one day, of course, they also need to go abroad and they need to find partner in some country. And this is my true friend. We don't have a personal interest right now, so I can call them 10 years later. Oh, by the way, I have this project, our interest. So yeah, so all these things, ecosystem, knowledge will help me forever.
Okay. And what advice do you think you could offer to other people who are maybe thinking about either sort of following the kind of entrepreneurial, I guess, path either in China or bridging something between China and another part of the world, what kind of advice do you think you could offer to people who are doing something similar?
The only advice maybe I can give is do it better than just wait and think too much, because we live in the world with a lot of uncertainty. So we cannot plan, we cannot forecast, and the only way to have things happen is to try, experiment, and learn from this test. And then you can keep growing, keep learning some things, keep making new business. So yeah, just do it.
Okay, great. So thank you so much for taking the time again to come and talk to us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the Ceebs Knowledge Podcast. Keep up with the latest in Chinese economic and global business trends by subscribing to the Ceebs Knowledge Podcast on iTunes or through your favorite podcast app. More Ceebs Knowledge available through courses at our China campuses in Shanghai, Beijing, and Shenzhen, our Africa campus in Accra, Ghana, or our European campus in Zurich, Switzerland. Ceebs is the bridge that connects the world and China.